Good morning, students. In last class, we have started tools used in recombinant DNA technology. And 4 different tools already we have seen. In that, first one is enzymes, second one is vector, third one is host cell, and last one is bioreactor. Okay, in last class, we have started here the second tool of recombinant DNA technology, that is about the cloning vectors. Okay, here you know this vector is nothing else, it is a small piece of DNA. It is also the DNA molecule which is used to transfer the desired gene to the host organism. And in last class even we have studied in detail the structure of PBr322. Here in this diagram also you can see very clearly PBr322, which it can measures of about 4.3 kilobase. Okay, this is the structure. Even I have drawn the diagram in last video. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Here the PBr322 structure, what you have studied, on that the important regions are present. The important regions in that, first one is the selectable markers. Here in last video you have seen that it is having the so many different regions. In that, origin of replication, this is the first one, and the second one is a selectable marker gene. Origin of replication already we have studied in detail in last class. And selectable markers are also be present in the DNA molecule which you want to use as a vector. Understood? The particular marker gene, what you have seen, marker genes are nothing but these are the special genes which they can be show resistant to the certain antibiotics like ampicillin, chloramphenicol, tetracycline, kanamycin, neomycin, like that. So many antibiotics are there. And these marker genes, their role is they can be show resistant to these all antibiotics. Understood? Therefore, in this slide you can see here, selectable markers of E. coli include genes encoding resistance to antibiotics like ampicillin, chloramphenicol, tetracycline, kanamycin, etc. Understood? And normal E. coli cells have no resistance against these antibiotics. What the normal E. coli cells are there? These are not having resistance to these all antibiotics. Understood? One should have to insert these marker genes into the particular DNA molecule, and when you insert that recombinant DNA into the E. coli cell, this E. coli cell can be show resistant to the antibiotics. Understood? Like this, here you have to make resistance to the antibiotics by inserting marker genes. And even the particular PBr322 is having certain cloning sites. Certain cloning sites are also be present, that is BAM-H1 you can see. The SAL1 is also be present, PVU1, and also the PST1, PVU2. Already I have shown you in last class about this, these all cloning sites. Okay, here the particular cloning sites are present here in what type of the antibiotic resistant gene. Okay, cloning sites, if they are present in the tetracycline resistant gene, if they are introduced here into the tetracycline resistant gene, the tetracycline resistant gene, it become, the particular gene can be suppressed here, and in that particular region the inserted gene can be represented by that. The particular bacterial cell will not show resistance to the tetracycline antibiotic. Okay, like this. And even I told you the marker genes for what purpose we are using. Marker genes for what purpose we are using? Just to identify the transformed bacterial cell. When you culture the bacterial cell, 3 different types of the bacterial cells what we can recognize here. First one you can see here, non-transformants. Non-transformants means both the marker genes can be inactivated. both the marker genes become inactivate. For what purpose they become inactivate? Because on that particular region we have inserted the other genes. By that these genes can be suppressed. By that these are called as the non-transformants. Okay, just you can see here, these are called as the transformants because they are having the other genes. Okay, first point you can see non-transformants. Non-transformants are nothing but they have no plasmid at all. Non-transformants are nothing but they have no plasmid, so they are not resistant to either tetracycline or ampicillin. When you culture the bacteria in that synthetic medium, 3 different types of the bacterial cells can be grown. In that first one is non-transformant. It is not having the recombinant DNA. It is not having the recombinant DNA means it is not having the antibiotic resistant genes. If it is not having the resistant genes, and when you put the bacteria here into the culture medium, these bacteria will not survive if the culture medium is supplemented with any antibiotic. If it is supplemented with any antibiotic, then this bacteria will not survive because it is not having resistance to both the antibiotics ampicillin and tetracycline. Okay, like this we can consider this is a non-transformants. And second one is transformants with non-recombinant plasmid. Means they are resistant to both tetracycline and ampicillin. Okay, just you can see non-recombinants means these are having the particular. Recombinants means we have inserted the particular desired gene into the particular gene, antibiotic resistant gene region. And it is not having any desired gene means it is non-recombinant plasmid, what we can say. And another one, transformants with recombinant plasmids. Transformants with recombinant plasmids means they are resistant only to ampicillin. They are resistant only to ampicillin. Means tetracycline resistant gene, what it is present at that particular region, we have inserted the alien gene. Other gene we have inserted. By that tetracycline resistant gene become inactivate. Okay, that gene become inactivate. Okay, then what happens when you culture these bacteria here? When you culture these bacteria in the synthetic medium, here we can see the 3 different types of the bacterial cells are produced. 3 different types of the bacterial cells. The clear cells what you are observing, the colorless cells what you are observing, it is non-transformed bacterial cell. Non-transformed bacterial cell means it is not having any plasmid. And red colored colonies what you are observing in the petri dish, these are transformed with non-recombinant vector. Transformed with non-recombinant vector means here vector is present but it is not having any desired gene. Only the antibiotic resistant genes are there. Okay, then here the green colored colonies what you are observing in the petri dish, these are called as the transformed with recombinant vector. Like this 3 different types of the bacteria are produced. Okay, next slide when you observe here, in this we can recognize recombinant plasmids can be selected out from non-recombinant ones by plating the transformants on ampicillin medium. Then the transformants are transferred on tetracycline medium. Okay, just you can see here 2 types of the plates are there here. 2 types of the plates are there and we have cultured the bacteria. Culturing the bacteria. Okay, recombinant plasmids can be selected out from non-recombinant ones by plating the transformants on ampicillin medium. Then the transformants are transferred on tetracycline medium. Just you can see first the recombinant and non-recombinant DNA. Recombinant and non-recombinant DNA is nothing but the particular plasmid is there. In that plasmid you have inserted the alien gene, that is called as the recombinant plasmid. And if only the vector is present, plasmid is there, it is having the marker gene and all, but we have not at all inserted any alien gene. Like this here 2 plasmids we are having. Okay, first you have to culture the bacteria, both the type of the plasmids, both the type of the plasmid containing bacteria you have to culture first into the ampicillin medium and then you transfer the bacteria into the tetracycline medium. Okay, then what you can observe, the recombinants grow in ampicillin medium but not on tetracycline medium. But non-recombinants grow on medium containing both the antibiotics. See here, the second point carefully you observe, the recombinants grow in ampicillin medium. Recombinants grow in ampicillin medium means, recombinants means already we know that the tetracycline resistant gene is suppressed at that particular region, the other alien gene can be inserted. And here therefore tetracycline resistant gene is not present, therefore it can be grow only in ampicillin resistant gene. If you put this one into the tetracycline, the bacteria will not grow because it is not having resistance to the tetracycline. It is having resistance only to the ampicillin antibiotic. But not on the tetracycline medium. But non-recombinants grow on medium containing both the antibiotics. Non-recombinants means here, non-recombinant means it is having both the antibiotic resistant genes. When you put that one into the ampicillin medium, then also the bacteria can be grow. If you take that bacteria and put that one into the tetracycline, there also the particular bacteria can be grow because it is having both the resistant genes. Okay, then thus one antibiotic resistant gene helps to select the transformers. One antibiotic resistant gene, because in that antibiotic resistant gene place only we are putting the desired gene. By when you put that desired gene, this gene can be eliminated. The resistant antibiotic resistant gene can be eliminated. By that we can prove that when you put the same recombinant DNA into the bacterial cell, and that bacterial cell when you culture into the medium, culture into the synthetic medium, if it is supplemented with the ampicillin, the particular bacteria can be grow, and if it is treated with the tetracycline, it will not grow. Understood? It is because only one, see here, only one antibiotic resistant gene, if it is present in the particular plasmid, it is very much helpful to identify the transformed bacterial cell. Two antibiotic resistant genes are there. One can be suppressed by introducing the desired gene, and another one as it is, it can be remained. And when you put that one into the synthetic medium supplemented with ampicillin, there actually the particular bacteria can be grow, and other petri dish containing the another antibiotic like tetracycline, in that the bacteria will not produce any colonies. Okay, about this you have studied already in detail. About this you have studied in last class. How we can identify the transformed bacterial cell by making use of the marker genes. In detail already we have studied in last class. Okay, we'll move to the next concept. In detail we have to study in today's class, that is, what type of vectors can be used to transfer the desired gene into plants and animals. See the heading? See the heading here, vectors for cloning genes in plants and animals. What type of vectors can be used to transfer the desired genes in case of the plants and also in case of the animals? Okay, first point you can see here, genetic tools of some pathogens is transformed into useful vectors for delivering genes to plants and animals. Here in biotechnology, already in last all the class, what I told here, biotechnology is the particular field in which many of the microorganisms are used. By making use of these all microorganisms, the certain products and services are produced which are totally benefited to the mankind. Is it not? The definition of the biotechnology we have studied. We are employing here, we are making use of the microorganisms. For what purpose we are using the microorganisms here? For what purpose we are using the microorganisms here? For what purpose means just to here they are already having that knowledge to take how to take entry into the host organism. Microorganisms we are using here to deliver the desired gene to the host organism because these microorganisms already having that capacity to how to identify the host organism, how to come in contact with the host organism, and how to take entry into the host organism, and once it can be take entry into the host organism, how to take entire command of that host, and the particular microorganism can be start synthesizing its own protein by making use of the DNA of host organism. Understood? This knowledge what it is there already we are having. By making use of that knowledge, here the particular field can be works, that is biotechnology. The first point what you are observing here, genetic tools of some pathogens is transformed into useful vectors for delivering genes to plants and animals. Here we are making use of the certain microorganisms, and which are those microorganisms? Example also they have given. First one is Agrobacterium tumefaciens and second one is retroviruses. Okay, this first microorganism is nothing but it is the bacteria, Agrobacterium tumefaciens. It is a pathogen of many dicot plants. It is a pathogen of many dicot plants. And retroviruses are nothing but these are the viruses which they are able to cause a cancer in case of the animals. Understood? Okay, then we'll move to the next one. Vectors for cloning genes in plants and animals. Here first one in detail you will study about the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Okay, the first picture what we are observing. The first picture what we are observing here, it is the bacterial cell. It is the bacteria, and name of that bacteria is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Agrobacterium tumefaciens, it is one of the soil-borne bacteria, where actually this bacteria is present means in soil. This is the particular bacteria which is present in the soil, and also we can say that it is one of the gram-negative bacteria. It is present in the soil. It is one of the gram-negative bacteria. Understood? Okay, then you may ask question this, for what purpose they have make use of this particular bacteria only, Agrobacterium tumefaciens only? Because this is the particular bacteria which is having that capacity to cause disease to many of the dicot plants. It is capable to cause disease to the many of the dicot plants. It can be recognized, it can be go and infect only to the dicot plants, not to the monocot plants. Okay, then here you may ask question, what type of disease it can be caused? What is the name of that disease? The particular Agrobacterium tumefaciens, it can be cause a disease, and name of that disease is crown gall disease. This is the particular bacteria which is capable to cause a disease, and name of that disease is crown gall disease. Okay, what is this disease? What are the symptoms of this disease? How actually the particular disease can be caused? Okay, when you see the particular bacteria, Agrobacterium tumefaciens, you can see the structure of the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. It is having the structure, bacterial chromosome is present, its own bacterial chromosome. The coil-like structure what you are observing in the bacteria, it is bacterial chromosome, and pink colored circular structure what you are observing, it is nothing but the plasmid. Understood? And what I told here, the bacteria, the plant diagram what you are observing here. Here at the left side, plant diagram what you are observing here. This is the particular plant, and even we have shown here the soil also. And this is the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, what I told here, one of the soil-borne bacteria, it is present inside the soil. Okay, this is the bacteria which is having that capacity to cause infection to the stem part which is closer to the soil. See here, concentrate. The particular bacteria is having that capacity to cause infection to the stem part. It can be go and infect the stem part of the plant. Understood? Stem part of the plant, that too the part which is closer to the soil, there it can be infect the plant, infect the particular plant. Understood? If any wound can be occur, if any wound can be occur at the lower part of the stem, then immediately if any wound can be occur, it can be produce certain phenolic substance. By that the particular Agrobacterium tumefaciens can be attracted towards it and it can be take entry into the plant body. Understood? Then it can be cause infection, and once it can be take entry into the plant body, just you can see plant cell we have shown the green colored structure, green cell what you are observing, it is the plant cell, and Agrobacterium tumefaciens also we have shown, and it can be take entry into the plant cell, and once it can be take entry into the plant cell, just you can see here right side entire plant structure what we have shown. Towards the soil surface, you can see the tumor formation can be takes place. You can see the tumor formation, just you can observe crown gall disease, the tumor formation what you have observed here, this is called as the crown gall disease. Understood? Okay, this is the bacteria which is having that capacity to, once it is having that capacity to go and infect the stem part of the plant which is closer to the soil. And once it can be take entry into the cell, it can be make that cell to undergo the repeated cell division. It can be make that cell to undergo the repeated cell division. By that mass of undifferentiated cells can be arise there. Many number of cells can be go on adding to that particular part of the plant, means the tumor formation can be takes place. This is called as the crown gall disease, which is commonly called as the plant cancer. It is commonly called as the plant cancer. Okay, then you may ask question this, how the particular bacteria is capable to cause this disease. Okay, just you can see Agrobacterium tumefaciens, it can deliver a piece of DNA. It can deliver a piece of DNA. That piece of DNA is also called as tDNA, to transform normal plant cells into a tumor. Normal plant cells into a tumor. These tumor cells produce the chemicals required by the pathogen. Getting my point? This is the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. It is the bacterium, and this bacteria, of course, it is having the bacterial white color coil-like structure in that bacteria. What you are observing, it is having that bacterial chromosome and pink color circular part. What you are observing here, this entire structure is called as the plasmid, and this plasmid is called as the Ti plasmid. In this diagram you can observe here Ti plasmid is Ti plasmid is present. Pink colored entire circular part what you are observing now here, it is called as the Ti plasmid. What is this Ti plasmid then? Ti plasmid is nothing but it is a tumor inducing plasmid. Ti plasmid is nothing but it is a tumor inducing plasmid. Okay, this is the plasmid which is responsible to insert the part of the bacterial cell or part of this plasmid into the plant cell, which is responsible to cause a disease called as the crown gall disease. This plasmid is responsible to cause an infection to the plant. Therefore, the particular plasmid is called as tumor inducing plasmid. It is called as the Ti plasmid. And in this Ti plasmid, the blue colored part, blue color Ti plasmid, blue colored part, what it can be represent tDNA. What it can be represent DNA. It is the small piece of the plasmid which is transferred into the plant cell. Entire plasmid will not take entry into the plant cell. Entire plasmid will not take entry into the plant cell. only that tDNA. Why it is called as the tDNA? It is transfer DNA. T is nothing but a transfer DNA. Why it is called as a transfer DNA? Only this part of the plasmid can be take entry into the plant cell, which is responsible to cause a disease called as crown gall disease. Means once this DNA can be take entry into the tDNA can be take entry into the plant cell, then it can be convert that plant cell into the tumor cells, and these tumor cells are start synthesizing the chemicals which are required by the pathogen. The pathogen, it can be start synthesizing its own chemical by making use of the plant DNA molecule. Understood? Like this, the particular tDNA can be present in the particular Ti plasmid. See, Ti plasmid, tumor inducing plasmid of Agrobacterium tumefaciens, is modified into a cloning vector which is not pathogenic but can use the mechanism to deliver genes of interest into plants. Okay, then you may ask question, the particular Agrobacterium tumefaciens is, this is the bacteria which is used to deliver the desired gene into the many of the dicot plants. This bacterium is used to transfer the desired gene to the many of the dicot plants. Then you may ask question, this is the particular bacteria which is responsible to cause a very serious disease called as the crown gall disease in the plants. Then how come they are making use of the particular bacteria? Understood? This is the tumor inducing plasmid, what it is there. By making use of the biotechnology, here they are changing the genetic makeup of this Ti plasmid. They are changing the genetic makeup of the Ti plasmid. Okay, Ti plasmid, what it is there, on this the tDNA region, what it is there, on this the tDNA part, what it is there. This tDNA is responsible to cause a disease because in that particular genes are there which are responsible to produce the certain growth regulators like cytokinin, auxins and cytokinins. In this tDNA region, what it is there, no? tDNA region is responsible to produce a certain growth regulators because on that tDNA certain genes are there, and these genes are responsible to synthesize certain plant growth regulators like auxins and cytokinins. And when this tDNA can be take entry into the plant cell, it can be start synthesizing these growth regulators, auxins and cytokinin, and we know that these are the growth regulators which can be make that cell to undergo the repeated cell division. In which cell the particular DNA can be take entry, no, that cell can be undergo the repeated cell division. By that continuously it can be go on adding new cells to that region. By that tumor formation can be takes place and the plant will suffer with the disease. Understood? Okay, but here they are changing the genetic makeup of the Ti plasmid. They are changing the genetic makeup of the Ti plasmid means the tumor causing genes what they are there, these genes are replaced. Tumor inducing genes what they are present, these genes can be replaced by the desired genes. Disease causing genes are removed, and at that place we are inserting the desired gene or the character we have selected. What character we have selected, it can be represented by the particular gene, and that gene we can insert into the tDNA region where disease causing genes were present. That disease causing genes are removed, and at that place the desired genes can be inserted. The remaining entire part of the Ti plasmid should be same. Only what we are doing here, disease causing genes are removed, and at that place normal functioning gene or the desired gene can be inserted. Remaining entire part of the plasmid should be same here. Understood? Means we are not at all changing the entire genome of the plasmid here. Entire DNA molecule we are not changing. Only the disease causing genes we have removed, and at that place the particular character what we have selected, that gene we are inserting. By that, what it can be possible means the bacteria, it can be cause same infection. The bacteria can be start behaving normally. Bacteria can be start behaving normally means it, when any wound can be occur here at the stem region towards the ground, the particular wound can be capable to produce certain phenolic substance. By that, the bacteria can be attracted towards that wound, and bacteria can be take entry into the plant. And once the bacteria can be take entry, it can be start releasing the Ti plasmid, and for this Ti plasmid can we make that tDNA to take entry into the plant cell. And once the tDNA can be take entry into the plant cell, here disease causing genes are not present. The particular desired gene what we have inserted, that gene can be expressed itself. By that, desired characters are possible to get here. Understood? Therefore, here the tumor inducing plasmid, what it is there, it can be get modified. It can be modified into cloning vector which is not pathogenic. It can be get modified. It can be get changed. By that, here we can see that the particular vector is not pathogenic but can use the mechanism to deliver genes of interest into plants. But this vector can be used to deliver a desired gene into the plants. Understood? Like this, the particular agrobacterium can be used to deliver the desired gene to the host organism. Okay, here you can see the diagram. You can see rectangular shaped cell. What you are observing, it is nothing but the plant cell. Large vacuole is also be present. Mitochondria, Golgi bodies, chloroplasts are also be present. And here you can see the nucleus. And inside that nucleus, the DNA is present. Okay, but here the particular bacteria, how it can be go and cause infection and how it can be deliver that tDNA into the plant cell, this diagram can be shown. Okay, here the point you can read, Agrobacterium tumefaciens can deliver a piece of DNA. As I told, the entire Ti plasmid is there, and in that Ti plasmid, the small piece of the DNA can be take entry into the plant cell. That part, what it is there, it is a transformed part, and this part is called as the tDNA. To transform normal plant cells into the tumor, these tumor cells produce the chemicals required by the pathogen. Understood? But we are changing, modifying the particular plasmid, and we are making use of that vector. Understood? This is all about the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This is all about the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. We'll move to the second one, that is the retroviruses. Okay, retroviruses viruses can be used in animals, can transform normal cells into cancerous cells. These viruses are responsible to make the normal cells to, once the retrovirus can be take entry into the human body, the normal cells what they are there, these normal cells can be get converted into cancerous cells. Understood? The retrovirus is having that capacity to convert the normal cells into the cancerous cells. So they are used to deliver desirable genes into animal cells. Therefore, we are making use of these retrovirus to deliver a desired gene into the particular animals, because we already having that knowledge how actually the retrovirus can be take entry into the host organism. And once it can be take entry into the animal cell, it can be take entire command of that animal cell, and it can be start synthesizing its own chemicals. By that, the virus can be undergo the repeated virus can be start multiplying itself, and large number of viruses can be produced. By that, here the cell can be undergo the repeated cell can be produce normal cell what it is there, it can be get converted into the cancerous cells, and cancerous, once it can be get converted into cancerous cells, the cancer cells, we know that it is having the unlimited cell division. Okay, these retroviruses are having that capacity to go and infect the animal cells. Keeping this thing in mind, the retroviruses, what the DNA molecule is present, that genetic makeup can be changed. Disease causing gene can be removed here, and at that place the desired gene can be inserted, and the remaining entire process should be same here. How it can be take entry into the host cell, how to deliver that desired gene, how to deliver the DNA into the plant cell, the remaining entire process will be same. Only we have changed here, the disease causing gene can be removed and normal gene we have inserted, desired gene we have inserted. Understood? Like this, the two different microorganisms are used to deliver the desired gene into the host organism. These are used as the vector to transfer the desired gene into the plants and animals. In case of the plants, we are making use of the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and in case of the animals, we are making use of the retroviruses. Understood? Okay, then next important tool, this is all about the second tool what we have studied, that is the vectors. About the vectors what we have completed. Okay, we'll move to the third one tool used in recombinant DNA technology. Third tool of recombinant DNA technology, which is that competent host for transformation with recombinant DNA. Here, by making use of the restriction enzyme, it is possible to isolate the desired gene. And that isolated desired gene, here we are inserting into the plasmid, the vector. Okay, once you insert the desired gene into the vector, now that vector is called as the recombinant DNA. What the recombinant DNA is produced, this recombinant DNA you have to put that one into the host cell. You have to insert that recombinant DNA into the host cell. For what purpose? Means just to get the multiple copies of the same desired gene. For that sake, we have to insert the recombinant DNA into the host cell. Okay, then question arises is this: how to insert the recombinant DNA into the host cell? Okay, for that, here you have to use the competent host cell, and in host cell how the recombinant DNA can be taken entry, that all you are studying now. The first point you can observe here, since DNA is a hydrophilic molecule, hydrophilic is nothing but water loving. Since the DNA is a hydrophilic molecule, it cannot pass through the cell membranes. It cannot pass through the cell membrane. So the bacterial cells must be made competent to take up alien DNA or plasmid. See here, we know that when you consider the bacterial cell, the host cell we are using is bacterial cell, and bacterial cell, when you consider, the outermost layer is the cell wall, and inner to that we can see here the plasma membrane. Understood? Okay, then we already having that the permeability of the membrane also. We are already having the knowledge about the permeability of the membrane in PUC first year, already we have studied. Permeability of the membrane, permeable, impermeable and semi-permeable membranes. 3 different types of the membranes already we have studied. When you consider the cell wall is permeable, and when you see the cell membrane, plasma membrane, it is semi-permeable membrane or selectively permeable membrane. When you see the cell wall is permeable to all the molecules to pass through it. There is no problem to cross the cell wall. The bacteria, outermost layer is the cell wall, and cell wall it will easily allow the recombinant DNA to pass through it. But the problem appears when it can be reached here the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Cell membrane or the plasma membrane, we know that it is selectively permeable or it is a semi-permeable molecule. Semi-permeable membrane. Selectively or semi-permeable membrane means it will allow only the selected molecules to pass through it. And this membrane will not allow this recombinant DNA to take entry into the bacterial cell. Then how to insert that recombinant DNA into the bacterial cell? Understood. The cell membrane is there, plasma membrane is there. Plasma membrane will not allow this DNA molecule to cross the cell membrane and take entry into the bacterial cell. So here what we have to do, here the cell become competent to take up alien DNA or plasmid. For this bacterial cells are treated with a specific concentration of a divalent cation, for example calcium. So DNA enters the bacterium through pores in cell wall. Means just you can see here the particular bacterial cell diagram is there. First diagram you can see here, the rectangular shaped cell what you are observing, inside that the red colored network like structure what you are observing, it is nothing but the DNA molecule, bacterial genetic DNA, genomic DNA what it is present. The outermost layer what it is there, it is the cell wall. Okay, then here what they have labeled non-transformed bacteria. Okay, first what you have to do, the recombinant DNA what it is there or the vector what it is there to take entry into the bacterial cell, so many barriers are there. Okay, the cell wall and the cell membrane what it is there, it will not allow that vector to take entry through it. Okay, for that sake here what you have to do, the entire bacteria can be treated with cold calcium chloride solution. Getting my point? Here two substances can be used to make a pore in the cell membrane. Make a pore in the cell membrane through which the plasmid can be take entry into the bacterial cell. Okay, then how to make a pore in the plasma membrane? Here the bacterial cell should be treated with cold calcium chloride solution. And immediately you have to raise the temperature. Just you can see in this diagram, cold calcium treatment can be given, the plasmid can be come in contact with the bacterial cell, and when we treat the cold calcium chloride solution treatment, the cell become competent and immediately you raise the temperature. To about 42 degrees centigrade for 2 minutes. Understood? You have to give the shock treatment. Heat shock what you have to give. By that the destabilization of the cell membrane can be takes place. By that in the cell membrane certain pores can be appear. Just you can, what I told here, bacterial cell should be treated with cold calcium chloride solution and immediately have to raise the temperature to about 42 degrees centigrade for 2 minutes. And after that again you take that bacterial cell and put that one into the ice. Just you can see, you are lowering the temperature, you are cooling the bacterial cell, and again immediately you are raising the temperature to about 42 degrees centigrade for 2 minutes. Again you take the bacteria from the temperature and you put that one into the ice. Immediately you are raising the temperature, immediately you are cooling. By that bacteria, it can be loses its stability of the cell membrane, means the bacterial cell membrane become destabilization. By that the small pores can be appear in the cell membrane. Through which the plasmid can be take entry into the bacterial cell. See here in this particular point, these cells are incubated with recombinant DNA on ice. Raise the temperature for 42 degrees centigrade what I told, and immediately put that one into the ice. Then they are replaced briefly at 42 degrees centigrade, heat shock, and put them back on ice. Immediately raising the temperature and immediately cooling. Again you raise the temperature, again cooling. By that the cell membrane loses its stability. By that this allow the bacteria to take up the recombinant DNA. pores can be produced here, and through that pore the recombinant DNA can be take entry into the bacterial cell, and now this bacterial cell is called as transformed bacteria. See here in this diagram clear picture can be shown. First the bacterial cell is there, it is having bacterial genetic material, and this bacteria can be treated with the cold calcium chloride. By that the plasmid can become in contact with the bacterial cell. Immediately you raise the temperature to about 42 degrees centigrade. Again you put that bacterial cell into the ice. Destabilization of the cell membrane can be takes place. By that the pores can be produced, and through that pore the plasmid can be take entry into the bacterial cell, and now this bacterial cell is called as the transformed bacterial cell. Understood? Like this it is possible to insert the recombinant DNA into the host cell. And for what purpose we are introducing the recombinant DNA into the host cell means just to get the multiple copies of the desired gene. This is one method. Still two more methods are there to insert the desired gene. Into the host organism. One is the micro injection and another one is the biolistic method. Okay, micro injection is nothing but here the recombinant DNA is directly injected into nucleus of an animal cell. Just you can see here micropipettes are there. Micropipettes are nothing but these are the small syringes, and here the particular amount of the DNA molecule can be take here and directly inject by making use of the micro injection or the micro syringe. Micropipettes are there. Here directly you can inject that DNA into the nucleus of the animal cell. This is micro injection. With one of the micropipette you have to fold the animal cell, and another one micropipette you have to use to inject that DNA desired gene directly into the animal cell, nucleus of the cell. In the diagram we have shown that how to inject. By making use of the micro syringe, it is possible to inject the desired gene directly into the nucleus of the animal cell. Okay, this is one method to insert the desired gene into the animals. Okay, then second one method you can see biolistic method, which is also called as the gene gun method. It is called as the biolistic method, or it is also called as the gene gun method. Here, the cells are bombarded with high velocity microparticles of gold or tungsten coated with DNA. This method is suitable for plants. Microinjection, by making use of the microinjection, we are directly inserting the desired gene into the nucleus of the animal cell. But in case of the plants, what we are using the another one method, that is the biolistic method, which is also called as the gene gun. Here, two high velocity microparticles are using. We are making use of the high velocity microparticles we are using, which are those means gold and tungsten. And these microparticles are wrapped with the particular DNA molecule, and it can be bombarded to the plant cell in which you want to get the particular character. Okay, bombarding with the high velocity microparticles of gold and tungsten, which are wrapped by the DNA molecule. Understood? And these are bombarded to the plant cells directly. The DNA molecule can be take entry into the nucleus of the plant cell. This method is more suitable to the insert the desired gene into the plant cells. Understood? Disarmed pathogen vectors, when it infects the cell, transfer recombinant DNA into the host cell. Disarmed, just know the what you have studied, agrobacterium and retroviruses. These are the methods to insert the desired gene into the host cells. Understood, all of you? How it is possible to insert the desired gene into the host cell, that what you have studied. Understood? And in next class In next class, you will study about the last tool of recombinant DNA technology. Last tool of recombinant DNA technology, that is the bioreactor. In detail, you will study about the bioreactor in last class. This bioreactor is nothing but it is a stainless steel vessel. It is a stainless steel vessel of about 100 to 1000 liters. In that it is possible to insert the synthetic medium, and in which we are culturing the bacteria, transformed bacteria, which are capable to produce the desired product, and from that we can collect that desired product. In detail about that we will study in the next class. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you.